Hi YouTube, I hope you're doing well. You might hear a little noise just about 4 feet away from me is my feral cat Nellie I brought in and her 7 brand new babies that started coming last night after midnight. So they were all born on the 5th of December, but there's a couple calicles, there's a pure white one with a black spot on its head, a gray one, a black one, and they're just really pretty and they're strong. These cats were raised on like beef and real fish that I would cook them, and so and their mother just got through eating a hunk of beef like that in just like a couple bites. She had already ate some chicken this morning and had some cream. Every morning I put a little cream in my coffee, and not always, but usually. And so she's a creamy girl in the morning. She gets her cream too, but she had it twice today. She's trying to build up her strength, but I don't know if you know, she has that broken shoulder was severed here. Her arm was broken 2 places. Her arm was just hanging there and it's healing now, but I have never seen a cat lay on her back, and she used her head to help deliver her children. She put her head on a 2x4 on the wall, or where the stud is, and used that to help her. I have never seen a cat I give birth on her back before, not in my whole life, and I've been around a lot of animals. I worked for a vet. I have never seen anything like that in my whole life. She is a little bit different. I went outside to get some wood in, and she tried to follow me outside. Um, she just loves me that much. She was willing to leave her kids and follow me outside right after she just gave birth. She's with them now, but I'm in here. That's different. But day before yesterday, I spent the whole day taking the shop vac, and I sucked up all the corners of everything in this room. I mean, every speck of dust, and made her a little nest with like it's boarded off, so um she feels safe. And I put like a puppy pad, one of them plastic liners with the absorbent stuff, and then a nice old fleece that I had down for her, and so and made it where it's all like where a breeze can't just come in. I used a chair and a couple other things to block it off to make her like a little cave in there. So I'll show you them when they get a little bit older, but that's what I've been doing for a couple days. So yeah, pretty busy. Just we worked late last night, and Doug was building the porch, the covering on the porch, and it started snowing on him last night, but it's gonna be okay because it started melting again today, and we have a little bit more warm weather coming up, so yeah, it's gonna be much nicer walking out and not slipping on that goofy porch. Boy, last year we both almost killed ourselves on it, so cheers everybody. So I think it was about 3:30 or so I finally got a little sleep. I don't know if all of them were delivered. I think about by then, and this cat did not cry one time. She didn't even say a peep. I watched the babies when they dropped a few days ago. I knew I only had a few days to get her a spot ready. I had made her one in a dog crate, a carrier, a big one that we had for our huge dog. Um, I had made her a spot in there and on top of it, and she liked it during the day. And it was out closer to the wood stove where it would be warmer for her, but um, she wanted to be by me, and she kept trying to go behind my bookshelf, which I have some electrical stuff back there. So I blocked that off and moved. I've got a big giant um, planter waterfall thing. And so I moved some and another like a terrarium. I took some of my stuff and blocked it off so she couldn't get back there, and then just made her a spot closest to where she wanted to be close to me. So, because I told her I would help keep her safe. I mean, she's with that bad leg. It was even starting to get really hard on her, even walking around being pregnant. It's like I couldn't even imagine. It's bad enough being pregnant, but with one of your legs not working well. But she did really good. I'm so proud of her. She's such a good girl. Just an awesome cat. Smart. And I think those babies are going to be super smart babies, not just because of all the high quality food that they had, but also hearing language when they're in the womb. And I can't prove it, but one was about an hour old and it said ouch twice from being born, because I think it was cold. You know, you come out and you're wet and you're cold, and but yeah, this cat actually spoke. Bob's Doug's cat says sentences. I had one. She didn't talk loud enough for Doug to hear, but she would say paragraphs. But the Snelly that I have now, she's getting her English down pretty well. And she's loud enough where Doug can actually hear her if she's having a conversation. You know how it says in the Bible, animals used to talk, but God took their ability away from them, so man couldn't communicate with the animals like he had at one time. That's interesting, isn't it? There was oh, a youngster, uh, yeah, over on my Facebook, and he had written how, like, basically, if you marry a divorced woman, you're going to go to hell, you're going to burn in hellfire. Well, the twists that are in those scriptures and what was left out, not defending a woman, and say, like I said, what about if the dude's a slut, you know? There's parts that are in there that are hidden that aren't telling you the facts about this. And I said, you got to be careful when you counsel people, and you don't want to hurt, those are souls of God. And you have to be really careful when you're counseling people on where they're going to go in the afterlife. You know, you can't just say, well, you're going to go to hell if this or that. There's mitigating circumstances to everybody's life, and only God knows your story. And unless you're absolutely assigned to counsel people for him on behalf of him, I would be really leery and very cautious on what I said to other human beings out on this planet like that, you know, and that's just my outlook on that, you know. So, because there's more to those scriptures on divorce and remarrying and who can do it and who cannot, and according to like the Catholic Church, along with sodomy and divorces and abortion and them type of things that they allow within the church now, and the priest is going to bless you in the name of God on behalf of God, because they don't want to lose your patronage and they don't want to lose the money that you could bring into the church, whether you're doing wrong in the eyes of God or not. They don't care. They're going to bless you, and it's a false blessing unless it's directly from God. you know. I mean, they can bless you, but they can't um, give you insurance and assure you that that's the way it's going to go in life just because they say so, you know. So, and it's a dangerous thing when we're dealing with people's souls, we're dealing with their lives. We can't just definitively spit something out that we've heard somewhere else. If you don't know the languages and the twists, like, say, for instance, if you can read Greek and Hebrew and, of course, English and Latin and those types of verses that will contain all that and understand what the scriptures are and the twists within them, maybe you would be able to counsel somebody on that subject. But if you look on the surface and you are just reading what is written on the surface and not really knowing the language, you're giving faulty advice to people, and this is concerning their souls. So it's something that you can't take it lightly. It's like a minister counseling people before they go into a marriage. You cannot take this situation lightly. This is each individual that you cannot just put a stamp and say this is what it is definitively as a minister for God. You cannot and shouldn't do that, you know. So anyway, yeah. Then I had another friend ask me about why would like one heritage look like it's Christianity when it isn't, or to explain this, and I'm like, I've got almost 2,000 videos and writings that I do nothing but talk about this and what the agendas are and everything. And I told her I couldn't sum it up. I'll just find more evidence and I'll put proof on top of it. And I gave her Archaic's name for the chronology of these people. And it's up to her to decipher whether she wants to believe it's the Canaanite bloodline, then that say they are Jews but do lie, or not. And the people that are actually harming others around the world. It's not just secluded to Israel or Palestine. So um, I couldn't really just sum it up in a and today I'm pretty wiped out, and it's like, no. But it did surprise me because of all the information I have put out there, especially the last year. Um, the depth of it and the proof of it all has been phenomenal. If she had been paying attention, so that kind of tells me that she hasn't been, and also that she's watching mainstream media encouraging her to be um, apathic, having apathy where maybe we shouldn't. So anyway, and that's according to a person their own individual beliefs too. I cannot prove something to somebody that doesn't see the history and the chronology of something. Um, there's no way I could prove it unless they're feeling it with their heart or their soul, you know. Like you could have a friend that tells you, well, like, my boyfriend is abusing me or whatever, and you might not think that's true based on what you know of the boyfriend, but that's only what you know. And that woman could not prove it to you just based on your belief system, on what you see on the surface, you know. So it's that type of thing. That's what we're battling, you know. Oh, they're cute kitties and they're so big for brand new babies. Man, they're strong and active, but it's no doubt with all the meat. I mean, they have their kibble too, but it's also a high quality. The one is made for outdoor kitties specifically, and it's got extra uh, like fat and different things that they need for surviving in the outdoor for extra energy. And then also Doug had gotten them. It's essential. It's called for cats, and it's got like everything they need in it for healthy skin and healthy coat, and it's little teeny tiny kibbles, and they just love it. And they had a pound bag between Nellie and Bob. They ate it in about 2 days. About less than 2 days, they ate all of it. He's going to get him some more of that. So it's funny though. And then that pure black one, I'm going to have to wait till they're a little older than babies. Um, but I had to grab one yesterday. It was it was pretty brand new, maybe a couple hours old, and it had crawled in between her blanket and the padding that puppy pad to keep it clean off the floor, and but it had crawled in between them two layers and it was way up in there, and so I put a glove on and grabbed him, and he was pretty chunky for a little brand new baby. Unbelievable, but yeah, I got to see if some of them, most likely and quite possibly, some of them are polydactyl because a lot of what we call puffkins or the puffkin bloodline that has been around this place for the longest time. We've taken strays in from them and found them homes many times, but this just one more time. But a lot of them have a tendency to have 6 toes, so we'll just have to see. They're pretty tiny. I don't want to really mess with them. I mean, when she gets up, I get a better look at them, but oh, she's looking at me like, don't look at him. She's jealous. Yeah. It's not that she doesn't want me touching her kids. It's just that she does not want me touching her kids. She come out, she looked at Doug's cat. She looked at Doug, she was eating, and she was giving them both dirty looks like, don't touch my mom, don't touch my kids, don't come near me, because she's in that motherly type mood, if you know what I mean. Well, if you think that cat's bad, you should have seen what I was like. There might be somebody on here that knows that. Yeah, I didn't even want the natural grandparents around my child, not alone. I never left my child alone with them. And the other ones that had raised me had to take me to court to get rights to see my children because they are whacked and they were um, they're not all there, and the only way I can describe it, you know. I'm not talking about your average people. I'm talking about people that are into witchcraft and uh, Masonic orders that keep other people on this planet submissive. Those type of people, not normal people. They're whacked, So yeah, I've had some pretty big battles in my life with all that, with them. So that's the excitement around the Weast house. Last couple days have been pretty radical. Like I say, I wanted to get every speck of dust off the floor and everything just to start them with a brand new, fresh as I can make it for them. Yeah, I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to check over on Facebook real quick. And I got a kid messaging me. Oh, it doesn't look like good news. Oh, no. Oh, looks like one of my kids got in trouble. That's all I know right now. They're going to look into it. My daughter-in-law's going to look into it for me. Hmm, that's bizarre. I wondered why I hadn't heard from him lately because he had friended me on Facebook, and then I hadn't heard anything for a while. But it's got his birthday wrong on there. He must have told him the wrong birthday. That's weird. Oh well. Sometimes parents are just helpless, you know. Oh, this is true. Elon Musk is the face used to lie about sending rockets to space. He is the face of electric cars, although he didn't invent them. Now he is the face of Twitter. He is the cool billionaire. So we will forget the lies. He's just the face played by many. He's a character. Yes, he is. It's a fact. I'm going to share that one. I mean, some people know that's true, but it just is. I mean, this is nice. I recommend that everyone gets closer to God. I want to see a lot of y'all in heaven. Yeah, this is true. If you don't separate yourself from your distractions will separate you from your goals. Yeah, yeah, I had a feeling something was up with my kid, my oldest one. Pretty sure my youngest one is still in jail. He's doesn't have a driver's license, but always insists on driving. And what he does is he'll get these girls that have jobs and vehicles and whatever, and just use them. Uh, um, there was another person that had written something about the mom. Uh, Excuse me a moment. Something's dangerous by my kitties about the mom saying bad things about the dad in front of the kids. And yeah, that goes both ways with the um, dad saying bad things about the mom that will reflect on the child, he said, because the child is like their dad. I have one that's like very much like their dad, and one that's not so much. Um, sort of, but yeah, it does go two ways, that's for sure. But um, if you're living with somebody that's dangerous, um, you can try and tell your children that this is dangerous, but the way the world is, it's hard to protect them, and they probably and usually do find out the hard way and figuring it out on their own the hard way. Even if you try and have some diplomacy in the situation, and it isn't always possible because of if it were a very violent situation towards those children, they're fully aware of what the monster is. So we're not talking about under normal circumstances, you know. So typically bad mouthing one parent to another, especially in front of the children, is entirely sick. So, and I've seen that too. So anyway, I'll have one more cigarette with you and hang out for a minute. Not like I have a whole bunch to do. I already got some wood in. I got exercises done, some other things this morning. It's like, yeah, that's enough. Yesterday was a pretty long day. So I didn't even know if I'd be able to fall asleep with little meowings, mew mews next to me, but yeah, they weren't. One is very loud though and strong, and it's sort of, well, survival of the fittest, but there was this little white one was trying to be up by its mom under its arm, and this little or bigger gray one got up there and he was beating the crap out of her, and he was wouldn't take no for an answer. She kept putting her paw on his head and he kept beating her up, but she would not move. Then I thought it was funny, the mom grabbed this one calico one kind of roughly, but I think she was just showing me you can grab my kitties, but just the way she did it was a little strange, you know. So when she was eating that big chunk of beef, and I said that's about the size of a whole kitty that she just ate in a couple bites, you know. It's like, way, that was radical. She's not a really big cat either. But yeah, I guess like Thursday is supposed to be about 47 degrees around here, which is pretty nice for this time of year. It looks like it's not going to be too radically cold. We've got what they call I think it's called an influx, where we get the warm weather from the west coast, and it pushes warm up into Canada, but the jet stream makes it swoop back down, and with the jet stream from the south pushing up, it's pushing storms up on the east coast. And there was a nor'easter out on the ocean, on the Atlantic Ocean, but it didn't make its way to land. But I think they're going to get hit in a few days with We only got clipped by a little bit of snow, but it looks like they're going to get 10 to 20 inches of snow, and we're going to be having warm weather, so which is great for the rest of the building and stuff that Doug wants to get done. So yeah, like when he builds something and it's really sturdy, and he's like, because he's using, instead of like a 2 foot center for trusses, he's using 18 inches and pressure treated stuff. And so he's like, yeah, and you could set a small black Chevy up on top of that. That's what he always says when he builds something sturdy. It's just kind of comical because it is true. You have to be careful of the weight. And he made it flat. If he had made it with a pitch coming off the porch, he was afraid that if we opened the door and went out, that, if you get 2 feet of snow and you come out, you could get hurt going out underneath the eave if it had a pitch to it. So instead, he's building it flat where it actually will hold the weight of any snowstorm that comes. So that's what his intention is, just keeping the snow off that porch for winter and enclosing it so getting up in the house won't be dangerous. So he's been driving that Jetta we got now, and it's been lowered, and it's got what they call fart cans, on the back. It's really noisy, what the kids would drive. But it's a good little car, good on gas. Volkswagens usually are. Well, it's more of a racing car, but it still gets better mileage than our Mustang or one of our trucks. So right now we have like 7 vehicles that run. Last winter we were down to one, so we're ahead of the game this year in case something bad happens. So yeah, we got another Dodge pickup and a Willys wagon, an older Willys. I'll show you some of that another time, and I do have pictures I want to upload about all the fall colors in our yard and that type of thing. I just haven't had time to go through them, and yeah, but I will one of these days. I want to learn how to screen share. Maybe I can learn how to do that in this next coming up week, but what I've got to do tomorrow, and this is imperative for my granddaughters, I need to get their Christmas box ready for them and get that sent out there. So before the Christmas rush and all that, I want to get it in the mail, and so that's about it for today. Yeah, it's like I said, been some busy days around here, so a lot of weird things going on. But all right, thank you for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow, I'm sure. Um, pretty sure. I mean, I'm not going nowhere, but so anyway, not yet. And they haven't cut our power off yet either, so we're good to go for a while here, but I wouldn't count on forever having internet access if you aren't willing to put something in your body so they can track your every movement, because that is their ulterior motive, is to take your free will away from you and turn your DNA into something it isn't. And they flat tell you they can hack human DNA and that your free will be taken away. They just sit there and tell you that, and some people don't believe it's true, but I can tell by the way people act in this world that that's not just a fantasy, it's already happening, you know, because nobody would intentionally hurt themselves unless they did not know better, you know. So, all right, everybody, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.